Hello, everyone. Well, so we're working on the top of the helix. You've seen the work that I've done as far as laying out the track for the barrel manufacturing company, getting the front half of that hill built and getting it painted. Next, that has to happen, of course, is a lot of ground cover, ballasting, trees, all that kind of stuff that happens in the railroad room. But when it comes to building the models, I do like to do those away from the railroad room and actually in the modeling room that I have. And this is the barrel manufacturing company's kit. This is a Campbell scale model kit. These are still available out there. I've seen a couple of them. This one was purchased for me as a gift. And I've got all the parts laid out here on the table, along with some additional parts, because I'm going to do some modifications to this model. So starting over here, we have the this heavy board material that has everything printed on it to be able to create the building. Unlike some of the Campbell models where you have wooden walls, these are actually these cardboard walls, and it's intended to then have sheeting, corrugated sheeting put over, which I'll show you here in a moment. Get a bag of barrels, get our 2 bags of wood and plastic parts, a pile of sticks, and then still sitting here in the box, I have the card that has the door frames on it, the signs, which I'm not sure if I'm going to use those or not, and then all the corrugated metal for the not only the roof, but also for the walls. Now, I don't have sitting out here in front the plans. I will show those here next. If you're familiar with the Campbell scale models, this is very typical for the plans that you would get in the kit. You can see this one is definitely starting to show its age with that yellowing of the paper. But this shows you the different views of the building. In this case, they're labeling them as north, south, east, and west alignments, just so that you have reference for the orientation. Some kits you have more than one sheet. In this case, this is just a single sheet of plans, but it is printed on both sides. And here we have an exploded view of the building, along with 2 images of the facility itself. The instruction sheet, in some Campbell kits, it is just printed on 8.5 by 11 pages, stapled together, and then very tiny print. But fortunately on this one, it is actually a larger page, and again, double-sided, so a lot of information on here. And with this kit, you do have some options, and they give you those in this section here, talking about the different ways that you can have that set up. So 4 possible versions of how to have this building set up. And then on the back side, they did sneak in another drawing. This is for the decking, and then also the pattern for the acetate for the windows, to fill in the windows. So that is the overview of the whole kit. With this being a barrel company, we are of course provided a set of barrels, but I've also purchased another set of barrels and crates that are going to get put onto this model, and probably other areas of the layout as well. When I was at the Timonium train show back in October, I picked up some metal casting barrels, so I'll have those in different areas as well around this model. And I also picked up a set of Prizer figures. Excuse me, no, these are Fowler figures, excuse me. And you can see a gentleman pushing a barrel. We've got a couple other crates and barrels. So I'll be able to use these guys not only in this model, but can also use them in some of them in other models as well. So those are some additional pieces for adding extra detail. Now, I'm sure if you heard by my tone, I'm not overly thrilled with the idea of making the walls metal-sided covered with the corrugated metal. The pictures I've seen of this did not necessarily show that it was the corrugated metal. I could see it on the roof, but I couldn't tell on the walls. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to be making my walls using board and batten. I'm going to come in close so that you can see this. So we have the raised battens on the boards. And I'm actually going to be affixing this material directly to the board material. So I'm still going to use this to be able to create the overall building. And of course, laying things out on the given plans. There are some larger open doors on this building, so I do potentially want to have these doors open, so you can see it here, you can see it here. We also have the windows, so while there's not going to be a lot of visibility to the interior, I do want to have some interior detail because it is going to be up at eye level and be able to be seen. So I also got some more wood that is going to be used to create a wooden floor inside the building. The floor that is provided is right here, and I'll just glue the wooden material to the cardboard material. The first step in the instructions is to actually go through and stain all the wood pieces, but since I'm adding the batten boards onto this whole project, I'm going to hold off on staining the wood at this point. So I went on to the next step, which of course is to then cut out all of the heavy board. For this, of course, you're going to need a straight edge. You're going to need your X-Acto knife. Make sure you're using a sharp knife if you're planning on doing one of these models, or if there are any other craftsman kits out there that use the same kind of construction. The roof sections I have not cut apart yet, just because I'm trying to, at least to some extent, eliminate some pieces possibly trying to wander off. Of course, I've got all the door and window openings to still cut out, and some of these notes that are on here, the instructions say to copy onto the reverse side so that you can be able to reference them once you've got stuff put together. So that's that step done. Time to cut out all these windows and doors. So all of the window and door openings are now cut out. The next thing that the instructions say to do is to mark out on the backs of these this lower line, which is for the floor to go in. So that was easy enough to do. The next part after that is to start taking some of the square stock and putting it onto the inside as bracing. And if you've seen other craftsman kits like these, whether they're older ones like this or laser cut, or if they're cut from wood, a lot of them will put that bracing in because the exterior can warp. Now, my next step is going to be to add all of the board and batten exterior onto here. And just after taking the boards out of the plastic bag and just letting them acclimate to my model room, you can see that they're already beginning to warp a little bit. So I'm going to need to make sure I put all these under pressure once they're glued to the boards, and definitely still going to need to put the bracing on the inside of all of this, just to make sure that everything stays straight and doesn't warp and become a mess. So next time you see this, that should have all of the board and batten on, and hopefully have all the openings for the windows and doors cut out again. You can see here the four main walls and the shop floor are now sheathed in the wood, and I've got all the window and door sections cut out. Now, after getting all of this glued on, you can see there is a slight warp. It's actually flattened out quite a bit from the last recording, which is good, so that there's not as much of a warp to it as there was. But that little bit of warp will have to be straightened out. The four main walls will definitely get straightened out when they're glued to the floor, but there is also these pieces provided so that bracing can be put onto the interior as well. Now, because of adding this thickness here, I do have to cut the corners a little bit differently. The original I just had the cardboard material butted up against it, but with this extra sheathing, I'm either going to have to remove a very thin sliver off of the ends to compensate, or I'm going to need to put a 45-degree bevel on the corners to make sure everything's lining up correctly. Haven't decided which of the two I want to do yet, but I will let you know very shortly. So what I chose to do was to actually remove some of the cardboard material from the two long walls just in this area. So that way, when the sidewall gets put into place, it will actually recess down into the cardboard material. Stop spinning around. Thank you. It'll actually recess down into the cardboard material and sit just in there like that. So it does still make the overall width of the building just a tiny bit wider, but that should not end up ultimately being a problem. It does, however, make the overall space for the interior shop floor a little bit smaller, so I will have to cut this down to fit, which is why I haven't done any of the corner cutouts yet. So save that for a little while once I figure out what that measurement is. As a quick preview, here's what the building will look like with the four major walls put together. This wall here, the exterior wood cladding is still gluing to it. So on to the next step. Well, this is really beginning to look like a building. You can see I've stained the wood for the shop floor. I still need to cut a floor for the office area up here on the second floor. And once the glue is completely set, I'll be able to go ahead and get the walls all painted, get that taken care of. I've put in some of the bracing that needs to go in. I still have some more bracing that needs to go along these peaks. And of course, the ridge needs to go in as well for the roof. So there's still a lot to do. Obviously, all the windows and doors still need to be done. But at the moment, it is beginning to really look like a building. The floor on the right-hand side here is actually going to be going up into the second floor office area. The floor on the left is the main shop floor. So even though I use the same stain on both floors, you can see on this one I made sure that it went on splotchy, uneven, just to show wear over the years of use on the floor. The office floor, on the other hand, I stained that nice and even though there is variation in the floor, and that's perfectly normal. But once I'm ready to install this, I will also put a nice finish over it so that it looks like it has been well maintained, has been waxed, taken care of. Whereas the floor down in the shop, of course, is going to ultimately get, some sawdust on it. It's going to have barrels and tools and other things that they use to make barrels all over the shop area, at least in the areas that can be seen through the workshop door and the windows. The last of the bracing that I need to put in has been glued in. You can see these last two pieces are still in their clamps. Starting to think about painting. I've got some old Model Master paint that I'm going to use here for the interior walls. And then, of course, I've got all of the window frames and doors to do as well. So I'm going to do all of those with these two greens. The first one being, focus, the deep green from Tamiya. And then the second one, again, a Model Master dark green. These are two different shades of green, as you can see here. I'm going to start with the Tamiya, put that on, get that to dry, and then I'm going to come across with the lighter green, sponge that on just to give it a lighter, as if flaked, some of the paints maybe flaked or starting to weather as far as maybe sun bleached a little bit. But that's going to be for another day. The next big thing after getting all of the interior painted is going to be to get the two floors glued into place, and then I can be dealing with the windows. And we still have the shed, the roofs, the dock. There's still lots to do on this model. The interior of the building is done as far as painting. I've gone ahead and finished off the Panzer interior buff. I just wanted this very light tan, very neutral kind of color for the interior. For the main shop area, you'll see that it's very rough. You can still see some of the gray of the cardboard showing through. That was just the first coat of paint put down, and I like the worn, aged look that I'm getting from that. And from a distance, looking through the windows, looking through the door, that's going to give a good worn look in that. By contrast, up in the office area, we have the nice finished floor, and I've put multiple coats down of the paint so that it has a very nice finish to it. I haven't decided how much more decoration I'm going to do to the interior walls of the office area, and of course it's going to get some furniture and such put in there as well. So the main part of the building is now done as far as the interior goes. Obviously there's a lot of just detailing to do, all kinds of interior work to add, the workers, the barrels being constructed, etc. So there's still more that needs to go in as far as details. But as far as the kit is concerned, I've got all of that in there. Remember that if you do find this kit and decide to build it, this floor is not included. There is no card for that, so I made that just from some of the same flooring material as the floor that I added onto the card material for the interior. So that is now taken care of. The next step is to start dealing with the windows and doors. So I've got those all put down onto a piece of tape. Very classic thing to do. Those of you who've been modeling for quite a while, you know how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and give everything a first coat of the deep green from Tamiya, the XF26. Let that dry, and then come back and sponge with the Model Master's dark green, a bit of a lighter green, just to give it some aged look to it, so that if it's been out in the sun, it's beginning to peel a little bit, beginning to fade a little bit, just to age it a tiny bit. I don't want to go crazy on the hard weathering on that. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm still working on trying to decide what color stain I want to use for the exterior of the walls, but I don't, again, want to go too dark, and I don't want to go super crazy with a lot of heavy weathering.